recognition thanks to its renowned technical support, customer service, and innovation product line. With extensive knowledge of various hardware and software platforms for mobile application, please welcome Mr. Ethan Ralston.
Everybody hear me? Perfect. Excellent. Hopefully everyone's doing well today, and to the EMS Redline Association, thank you for having Feeney Wireless here, and hopefully I can talk tech with you guys today and not bore you too much and use a bunch of crazy words out there that everyone may not understand, but hopefully we'll get something out of the presentation today. Feeney Wireless, we're a national-based systems integration products and services company. So today I'm going to go over a couple different solutions that we use within the EMS industry. We've been working in this industry in a lot of public sector applications over the last decade. And we'll talk about the different platforms we use, maybe an off-the-shelf product, maybe a product that we manufacture, but we'll talk to you about kind of our strategy too in supporting different customers out there, because I know a lot of this equipment that we put in, a lot of it is cellular based and it's very expensive. So you'll hear the word scalability used a lot for me today, because I know that's very important to everybody. Technology is changing very quickly and changes all the time. New networks come out, 3G, 4G, 5G, 6G, and you want to be able to have a platform that can work with you for the next 3, 4, 5, 6 years. So that's what we'll talk about today. And make sure that works. Perfect. So quick background on Feeney. We were founded in 2000. Different M10 markets that we work in: transportation, retail, public safety. We've done a variety of different applications, being a systems integrator. A lot of the applications that we do, again, are cellular based. So when you're thinking of what do you use Feeney for in the EMS industry today, a lot of it's going to go down to our core capabilities. Our approach down in the bottom left-hand corner is near and dear to our hearts. A lot of what our sales and engineering people pitch out there, but it's really the two true core of our company. We're a consultant, so when we're working with different customers, we're in to help go over all the different options and hardware, software, antennas, connectors, all that fun stuff. We're really going to sit down and do a consult with you guys in the beginning. Systems integration. Systems integration is an interesting market. There's a lot of products out there. You need a company that can go work with 5, 6, 7 manufacturers behind us and present one solution to you. Again, that could be something off the shelf. We'll talk about some of those today. Could be a product that we manufacture and create as well. And then it's all tied up with the managed service. It's very important not just to roll the system out with you, but all the managed services as well. So helping to monitor equipment, enhanced RMA support, triage support, so you call one support number to support the carrier, the hardware, the software. We'll talk about that today. Perfect. So 3 main components. We have kind of a quick time today, about 20 minutes to talk, so I want to get right to the core of some of the solutions that we do within the EMS industry. I want to talk about a couple different platforms and 3 main components that really make up a connected vehicle solution in an ambulance, and a lot of the cellular guts that will go inside. I'll talk about cellular device, antenna configuration, different software options. So kind of where I wanted to start, if you look at kind of the first bullet point, Sprint Air Card, that's kind of your first option from a carrier. This could be, again, Sprint, Verizon, or AT&T, or T-Mobile. Your first option is to take a computer, a rugged tablet, a Toughbook. May have a Adobe embedded chip in it. You may want to activate that. You may have an air card from the carrier. That's kind of your first option, but it's really basic. It doesn't give you a lot of features, and it's not very scalable. There's a lot of companies out there in the market that take a different approach to it, where there are other devices out there that are more rugged. They have their own operating systems built into them. They could run on Windows. They could run on Linux. And that's really where we play in that rugged machine-to-machine space and the different hardware platforms. So kind of your first option when you're trying to get cellular connectivity into your vehicles, first one's an air card. Very inexpensive. Usually a carrier, if you buy in any type of volume or get set up on a special contract, they'll subsidize the air card, give it to you for free. stick in the computer. You can access the computer online, but that's about all you can do. The next option, this would be the Sierra Wireless Pinpoint XT. This is a device that has a serial port, has a USB port, it can do GPS and telematics. So it's a very small, rugged device. It's all powered with the operating system by Sierra Wireless called Alios. We're not Sierra Wireless, we're just one of their big distributors, and we use this product a lot in systems integration. So if you're looking just to track certain vehicles within your fleet where you don't want full data communications, you don't have laptops, you don't have patient care tablets, you don't have defibrillators, you don't have all the stuff that you want to hook up and network so you can connect to the internet and send the data, you just want to track the vehicle, this is kind of your first option. Very basic. It can integrate with a lot of different CAD systems out there. We use TraumaSoft a lot, but it's very flexible and you can integrate with. It's very simple where we'll just collect lat and long coordinates, bring it into the modem, it'll store and forward it, it'll send it out to an IP address. So if you already have systems that you use as well, you may have some web-based ADL solution and you just want to track vehicles and see it on a map. This is kind of your first starting point. And the pricing we have on here is what's on the EMS contract, so you can see $370, much less expensive than some of the other solutions. When I talk about the next one, so a Pinpoint X, the thing to keep in mind, the three platforms we have up here, the Pinpoint XT, the Pinpoint X, and the Sierra X, they all run on one platform. So the other important thing for companies such as yours out there, you want to be able to have a platform where you can use multiple devices depending on your vehicle's requirements. But from the IT perspective, you don't want to be supporting three pieces of hardware out there that do different things, but they all have a different operating system or they all have a different GUI in them. You want to be able to log online, and your IT department wants to be very familiar with how do I go configure this or how do I troubleshoot it. You don't want to have to troubleshoot three different GUIs when you log online and learn three different ways to configure modems. So between these three platforms, they all run off of Alios inside of them. So when you log into them and you're dialed in directly, you're trying to configure, check signal strengths, RSSI, update the firmware, update the PRL, when you log into it, it's all the same. So it's very simple and it's very easy to support between the different platforms. The second device is a Pinpoint X. Again, this will do everything that the XT does. The main difference you're going to get out of this is one Ethernet port on the back. So if you have one laptop, you may want to try connecting with the camera that you may have in the vehicle. A lot of times you're going to use this if you just have one maybe laptop up front, or maybe you have a defibrillator you want to connect to, something that is networkable. This will give you that high-speed connection, a 3G connection from one of the big carriers, AT&T, Verizon, and Sprint. And you can see price point differences between them and kind of see as you go up, less features, the more features, and of course the price will increase as well. The next device, this is probably the most popular device that we use within the EMS industry. This is a device that goes up from the Pinpoint X and XT. Again, it can do everything that those devices can do, but now you're introducing 4 Ethernet ports on the back. You're sharing one data connection from the carrier is the key thing to keep in mind with a device like this. You can have up to 4 LAN connections on this, so you could have, in essence, an easy way to look at it, so you could have 4 computers connected to it, or you could have 3 computers and a defibrillator connected to it. Anything that's not workable and needs an IP address to take the data and send it somewhere, you'll have 4 Ethernet ports. It also does Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is very important, and it's a fun application that a lot of EMS companies are starting to do, because again, you want to create a mobile node on your network. You want to turn that vehicle into a hotspot. So all those different accessories you may want to put around the vehicle, again, from patient care tablet, reporting and monitoring, and maybe an RFID reader, anything out there, a computer, and you want to connect all those devices wirelessly that can connect to a wireless network, this is how you do it. And you create that Wi-Fi cloud around the vehicle. All these devices, they can also do vehicle telematics. So if you're looking at engine diagnostic reporting, you want to see PTO, you want to see idling time, you want to create scorecards for your drivers out there and actually rank them of how they're driving. Are they braking too hard? Are they accelerating too fast? Are they going around corners too hard? you can actually create that off of the serial port on all these devices. And that's a partner that we work with called Agnic. They're one that we support behind us for vehicle telematics, and that's kind of a new application out there. A lot of the companies that build software platforms for vehicle telematics, you got to be kind of careful with what you do with telematics because it's a lot of data that can get dumped on you from the engine. So from your IT perspective, what are you going to do with all that data? You can just get all of it and not know what to do or not have the resources. So when you do look at telematics, it is a new application out there. It can be done. Just make sure you know the expectations of what you're getting into as well when you start connecting to the OBD2 or JBus port inside a vehicle. Different antenna configurations, very easy, usually 2 options. The most common is going to go external, usually around $100. Different manufacturers for antennas, Antenna Plus, Laird, Vovomark, PCTEL. All these devices have external antenna ports on it. So for an M2M application where you're mobile, it is usually best to get that antenna outside the vehicle. You don't want a fiberglass enclosure or a metal enclosure. You don't want that signal strength and RSSI bouncing all around within the vehicle. Internal antennas, if you don't want to drill a hole on the vehicle or you have different types of vehicles out there, there are very good internal antennas that can still do the GPS. You can get that antenna usually between the dash and the windshield. There's some nice, very low profile covert type antennas that will sit up between the dash and the windshield. They'll do cellular, they'll do GPS, and they can connect to these types of devices. Third thing to know, of course, is your software platform for AVL, GPS, work order management, and dispatch. Again, TraumaSoft is a great company to work with in this area. But a lot of these devices, they'll work with almost any AVL or dispatch software out there. NetMotion is another software to keep in mind as well. In a mobile environment, IP session persistence, that word is very key. What IP session persistence does in a mobile environment, if you're in the middle of downloading a file and you're connected to the Sierra, for example, over Wi-Fi, and you're right in the middle, you drive between towers, what happens if reception drops or something with the carrier happens, which it does, or you drive between towers and all of a sudden you don't have that connection. What IP session persistence does in a mobile world is that download will stop. On the back end, there's a server talking to that computer. It acts like it didn't drop the connection, even though on the client it did. Once it picks back up in range, that download will keep going from where it left off. So IP session persistence too in a mobile environment is definitely one key thing to keep in mind to put on your different clients out there, your computers, your tablets. Most devices with a Windows operating system or different Droid devices out there. So that's the other thing to keep in mind. And then the last piece on software, again, is Agnic. If you're looking at doing vehicle telematics, again, plugging into the OBD2 or JBus port underneath the steering wheel on a vehicle, you're going to want to look at Agnic. And that's, again, the partner that we'll bring to you guys kind of as the systems integrator. So the main takeaway from this is just understanding the different components to create a cellular connection in your vehicle. There's only 3 main components. It's much simpler than you think. Our Sierra X device, again, if you haven't seen this, please come by and talk to us afterwards. This, again, is kind of the flagship product that we're using within the EMS industry. Has our Axiom technology built into the device. We're working on additional features for application space and doing computing at the edge of the network up in the cloud. That's a big popular term and technology that a lot of companies are going to be investing in over the next couple of years. Again, USB interface works in all the carriers. 16-channel GPS receiver. Again, very good device to use out there if you're trying to create Wi-Fi within a vehicle. Pro Transport 1, I won't go into this example too much. Jason's going to talk about it. They're one of our close partners and customers that we do work in the EMS industry in. They're going to talk about this fun-looking device over here and kind of give you examples from what they do. So I won't talk too much about them, but they're a good case study and testimonial too for using our Sierra product and what it can do for them to connect multiple devices and run all the cellular communication within their vehicles. End to end, again, our model, how we've been very successful over the last decade is, turn that phone off. Again, consulting, we will sit down with you guys, we'll go over all your hardware requirements, we'll talk about all the different cables you may need, we'll talk about all the connectors, we'll really sit down and go over if it's an off-the-shelf product, hardware, software. The SI in the middle is, again, systems integration, could be helping with installations. We can subcontract that out and help you guys. Maybe a third-party product that we pull off the shelf, or maybe one of our own products that we create. And then managed services is key. These are some of the different services that we offer to customers. We really want to help you be able to support these from an IT perspective. So within our premium care offerings, we do triage support. Our normal support hours are 8 to 5 Pacific Standard Time. We have dedicated email addresses set up, so you actually get to a dedicated technician that's standing by waiting for your call. We have e-ticketing support systems set up, so you have an online web application you can get in to track cases if you have problems. So if you have techs in the field, they have an easy way to actually put a request in to get help. Enhanced RMA support. We have different programs that help to have overnight shipments. If you don't want to stock spare equipment, we'll stock it for you. So if you have a problem, you can get it next day, send that third-party equipment or ours back to us, and we'll fix it, put it back in that pool. Device monitoring will help monitor devices, update PRLs, firmware, make sure those devices are always up to date with the correct information and configuration. And then deployment management. We have different databases we create for customers that can track all your ESNs out there, and serial numbers and MAC IDs. Phone numbers, all those different numbers you get from implementing cellular solutions and what vehicle it's in. We can create different databases for you to help with that. So I think that's about it. Does anybody have any questions? We have a couple minutes left, hopefully. Anything good out there? Perfect. Thank you very much.